Welcome back. I'm N.S. Lavanya, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KCS Kasinadar College of Arts and Science. In this video, you are going to learn the role of translation in Renaissance period, which is part of the syllabus Introduction to Translation Studies. Edmund Carey stresses the importance of translation in the 16th century. The translation battle raged throughout Dowlett's age. Edmund explains that translation became an affair of state and a matter of religion. The Reformation was primarily a dispute between translators, Edmund explains. In this century, translators were executed as a result of particular rendering of a sentence or phrase in a text while translating. The quality of aggressive assertiveness can be seen in the works of Chapman and Dowlett and other translators of the time. One major characteristic of the period is an affirmation of the present through the use of contemporary idiom and style. This quality is also reflected in the number of translations of the Bible that updated the language of preceding versions without necessary changes. Matheson's study of Elizabethan translators gives a number of examples in which affirmation of the individual manifests itself. He notes the frequent replacement of indirect discourse by direct discourse in Nott's translation of the Plutarch. Matheson remarks that this device adds immediacy and vitality to the text and quotes Nott's use of lively contemporary idiom. In Nott's version, it is said of Pompey that he did lay all the irons in the fire he could to bring it to pass that he might be chosen. And of Antony, that he decided Caesar's body should be honorably buried and not in hugger-mugger. Major translators such as Arch and Surrey made some adjustments in SL text in poetry. This led others to describe their work as adaptations, but Susan Bassnett says such distinction is misleading. A thorough study of Watts' translation of Petrarch shows a faithfulness not to individual words or sentence structures, but to a notion of the meaning of the poem in its relationship to its readers. That is his view. In other words, poem is perceived as an artifact of a particular cultural system, and the faithful translation must be to give it a similar function in TL. Watt takes Petrarch's famous sonnet on the events of 1348, the death of Colonna and of Lara, that begins as broken is the tall column, which means Colonna, and the green laurel tree, Lara, that used to shade my tired thoughts, and translates into the pillar perished is whereto I lent the strongest stay of mine unquiet mind. Watt uses the translation process in a different manner, not just rendering line by line of Petrarch's original. Watt's translation not only stresses the I, but also stresses the strength and support of what is lost. Whether the Petrarch sonnet was written to commemorate the death of Cromwell is not proven, but the Watt's translation definitely had an immediate impact on the contemporary readers. The updating of text through translation by addition, omission, and conscious alterations can be seen in the work of Holland, the translator general. To clarify obscure passages, he inserts explanatory phrases which shows his nationalism in abundance. While translating Livy, he declared that Livy should be delivered in English, if not so eloquently, at least like Latin. In the preface to the Reader, Holland attacks those critics who protested the vulgarization of Latin and commends those people think not so honorably of their native country and mother tongue as they ought to be. If they did, they would have easily triumphed over the Romans in subduing their literature under the dent of English pen as a revenge for the Roman conquest. George Steiner puts it, translation absorbed, shaped and oriented the necessary raw material and established a logic of relation in this age between past and present and between different tongues and tradition which were splitting apart under stress of nationalism and religious conflict. Translation by no means a secondary activity but a primary one, exerting a shaping force on the intellectual life of the age. Susan acclaims the role of a translator as a revolutionary activist rather than the servant of the original text. Thanks for watching this video. We meet again in the next video.